Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video I would like to talk about some changes that might be coming with 3.19 regarding components and insurance. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the Armory. If you would like to be on this list, go check out my Patreon or channel memberships. So there are some changes coming with 3.19 that we know of and some that have been discussed. First of all, players now have the ability to detach and attach components from ships using tractor beams. This is technically a very basic implementation of physicalized components and it is very cool. However, this also means that components now can be salvaged from destroyed or crashed ships. This not only provides more salvage opportunities, but also means that ship components are now considered loot by CIG. This creates a major problem with how CIG treat loot and the loot generation system. Some of you may remember what happened with armor and weapons when loot was first introduced. For those of you who don't, CIG removed a big portion of armor and weapons from in-game shops and made them lootable only. In the first iteration, it was very difficult to assemble a set of matched armor. This has since been fixed with some shop inventory changes, but still about 2/3 of armor cannot be purchased. On the other hand, trying to loot for a specific piece of armor is nearly impossible. It seems that the current plan for CIG might be to do the same thing with ship components. Now, there's a small caveat with this. It was the original plan for high-grade military components to only be lootable or obtainable through reputation. But I fear that CIG will remove high-grade components of all types from store, leaving their inventories very small. I am very curious to see how CIG handled this during the PTU. But if they go this way, and considering how the loot system works, it will be very difficult to gain high-grade components for your ship. This is still subject to change, but at the time of recording, all A-grade components were removed from shops in the PTU. At the same time, there seems to be an issue with lootable components. Shipwrecks that spawn in the verse have stock components, and so far I haven't found anything high-grade or evidence of that being possible. Also, not all ships have component ports that are accessible, meaning the contained components can't be removed. And finally, there seems to be no easy way to move components you salvage from your cargo hold to your inventory for use on other ships. But like I said, this may still be addressed. The other change discussed was not confirmed yet, but CIG are considering implementing some changes to insurance with this. Basically, with the new system, anytime you claim your ship, it would be reset to the stock configuration and you would lose any components you upgraded. This would bring us back to the very first version of component upgrades. It seems like this will not be a part of 3.19 unless something changes in the next 2 weeks, but it's definitely the plan for the future. Now, there is a somewhat good reason for this. With Component Salvage, it would be very easy to duplicate rare and expensive components by buying or salvaging one, destroying your ship, salvaging the component and claiming the ship, which would give you a new version of that component. This exploit is very difficult to detect and prevent, so making components unclaimable is a very quick and effective fix. However, this might discourage some backers from customizing their ships, as losing your ship to a bug or a server crash is still very common. Also, with the removal of high-grade components from stores, the value gained from upgrading the components on your ship is questionable at best. So, is there an alternative solution? Well, we were told that it will eventually be possible to pay for extended insurance coverage. This would be the answer. However, we're still very far from a comprehensive insurance system, and I don't see it as something that will happen in the next few years. In the meantime, the simpler solution would be that ship claims would restore all ship components that can be purchased in stores and all others would be stock. This would prevent the exploit of duplicating rare salvage components. On the other hand, it would still be possible to duplicate purchasable components. This presents a more complex challenge. I don't think it's possible to fully eliminate this problem. One possible solution would be to track ownership and inventory. For example, I have an upgraded quantum drive on my ship. I lose the ship, salvage the component and go to claim the ship, trying to create a duplicate quantum drive. During the claim process, the game would check all of my inventories to see if I have the same component somewhere and would use that component instead of giving me a new one. This again has some challenges. Alternatively, upgrading your ship could increase the claim timer and cost, but this has diminishing returns on both ends. In other words, the solution CIG seem to be proposing is probably the easiest way to prevent exploits in the short term and possibly encourage component salvage. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that they're shooting themselves in the foot and many backers simply won't bother. I am very curious to see what will be the final result in 3.19. I am definitely hoping for a more complex solution in the future, but I understand that it's not a priority. Also, very far in the future, when player shops are a thing, this creates a valuable commodity to be traded between players. Also, I think there is a plan to make some rare components obtainable through reputation, which could be something CIG can do in the near future. And with that being said, that's it for today. What do you think? Should components be replaced on claimed ships? Should rare components be only salvageable? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.